Peaky Blinders Extra, 33, who met women on Plenty of Fish and Facebook, was convicted of beating up 3 victims under different names after changing his ID by deed poll. A violent and steroid pump, Peaky Blinders Extra, who created make-believe worlds to ensnare his victims, has dodged jail again, after failing to appear under a background check. Oliver Cox, 33, met women on dating websites and wooed them with grand romantic gestures, before mounting terrifying attacks that left some victims needing restraining orders. He was convicted for attacks on 3 women, but each time under a different name, including Bart Milburn, Darren Berry and other variations of these. This meant that when his most recent victim inquired about him under Clare's Law, which allows women to see if their partners are domestic abusers, nothing came up. Cox pleaded guilty last month to assault occasioning actual bodily harm over his most recent attack on single mother Lindsay Yarwood, 35, on December 15 last year. He was only given an 18-week suspended sentence. Ms Yarwood had asked Wiltshire police to inform her if he had ever been convicted of domestic abuse but received no information. She believes Cox slipped through the net because of his multiple different names. Wiltshire police are investigating. Days before attacking Ms Yarwood, the Brood had even shared a post on Facebook praising Clare's Law as something that not only helps women but can defend men who have been labelled. Jen Atherton, who he dated for a month in July 2018, was not attacked but said Cox was verbally abusive. Police ordered him to cease contact with her. He had previously assaulted Rosie Benson, 31, on Christmas Day 2017, for which he was bailed and handed a community order. He also attacked a woman known only as Rachel in Newcastle on October 8, 2016, but walked free after paying a £600 fine. Cox concocted an elaborate web of deceit around his victims, claiming to be an actor, a boxer and a CBD cannabidiol company owner, according to his victims. He even posed as one of the women's jealous exes online. The thug filmed with the Peaky Blinders cast in May 2017 and appeared in Series 4. He also worked as an extra on Coronation Street and once sparred with Ricky Hatton when he was a boxer. With Cox still on the streets, Ms Yarwood, Ms Benson and Ms Atherton are speaking out to warn other women so that he doesn't do it again to some other poor girl. Cox admitted to changing his name by deed poll to Bartholomew Milburn and blamed his behavior on his use of steroids, claiming he was not a monster. Ms Yarwood dated Cox between August and December 2018 after they met on Plenty of Fish and thought he was her dream man after he bombarded her with romantic gestures. But within just 4 months, their whirlwind relationship and engagement was over. The mother of 2, from Elksham, Wiltshire, said, "He was everything you see in rom-coms, rose petal baths, cooking dinner, brilliant with the kids. And so believable, the lies and everything. I'm pretty sure it's going to take for him to actually kill someone for the courts to punish him properly. No wonder women don't go through with pressing charges for domestic violence." He was given a 2-year restraining order, but there's nothing to stop him standing outside my house as long as he doesn't contact me. Just over a month after meeting face-to-face, Cox and MC Yarwood went on a day trip to London. Cox proposed while they were on the South Bank Star Flyer ride. MC Yarwood said, "We went on this swing ride and while up in the air he proposed to me. I was really shocked, it was absolutely crazy, but I said yes because I really liked him. I was caught up in the moment. Everything was great then." But their newly engaged bliss quickly soured. MC Yarwood said, "One day my ex, or so Ollie said, started messaging him on social media, threatening him, threatening me. I had panic attacks, but Ollie was sticking up for me by sending him messages back. I later found out he was messaging himself via a fake account. He'd set up a fake account just to show me, it was like trauma bonding. We then had an engagement party. I did have a brilliant time at the party. I had a girls' night out, basically. We went back home and I woke up in the middle of night with him right next to my face. His face had changed. He looked so angry and frightening. He grabbed my wrist and started accusing me of cheating on him. He made me go downstairs where he went absolutely mental and smashed up his phone. I went to bed sobbing. The next morning Cox suggested he could not remember anything about the night before, MC Yarwood said. She continued, "He said, 'Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I believe that he just didn't remember. That was the first instance that frightened me.'" During a night out for his birthday on December 15, 2018, the couple began rowing and Cox became furious, claiming MC Yarwood had ruined his birthday. Back at their hotel, Cox grabbed MC Yarwood and attacked her, leaving her with 2 black eyes and bruises to her body. She claims he bought her a cold pack of bacon to put on her face to try to help the bruising. The next day, MC Yarwood decided enough was enough and fled Cox, returning to her mother's. She is furious that after a warning from his ex that he had a history, her request for information on his background from police using Clare's Law failed her. "I've no idea why he didn't come up on Clare's Law," she said. "He managed to get through somehow. The amount of phone calls I had to make was unbelievable. I think with Clare's Law, every single recorded name needs to be linked to the same person. It costs £36, or less, to change your name by deed poll. There needs to be a register for offenders that people can just go on." A year before, Cox was found guilty of assault by beating and given 100 hours of community service and a restraining order preventing him from contacting ex-girlfriend Rosie Benson. Ms. Benson met Cox on Facebook in 2016 but after dating him for 18 months they broke up, however she says he continued to turn up at her house. She claims she would find him sleeping in her outside her toilet building or in his car and he even faked seizures and pretended to have been attacked for sympathy. When she allowed him into her house to have dinner and stay the night on Christmas Day 2017, Cox unleashed a vicious assault when she rejected his advances. Ms. Benson, from Bolton, Lancashire, said, "It's been hell. The restraining order runs out in September this year. I'm expecting to hear from him again. I'm worried he'll just move again to a different area and do it again to another poor girl." Jen Atherton dated Cox for a month in July 2018 and considers herself one of the lucky ones because she was not attacked by Cox, though Merseyside police still told him to stop any further contact with her. The pair had only started speaking on Facebook a week before, but when Atherton touched down at Manchester Airport in July last year, he was waiting, like he did with Lindsay, to surprise her. However, the romantic side soon faded, and Atherton claims Cox turned angry when she failed to post pictures of flowers he had bought her on Instagram. Even after they broke up, Cox would not leave her alone, and she was forced to contact the police to mediate the return of shoes he had left behind, who asked him to leave her alone. Atherton, from Wirral, Merseyside, said, "I got away at the right time. I saw that he'd got with Lindsay very shortly after and I thought I should tell her, but I worried he'd pursue me." Cox said he was mortified by what had happened but denied treating women badly, despite acknowledging the convictions. He denied creating fake LinkedIn profiles to pose as the game show producers but admitted to having a number of Facebook profiles under various names. Cox said, "I changed my name to Bartholomew, by deed poll. It was for a fresh start and a sign of a new me, but I did it at a time when I was very confused about myself and I didn't have all my diagnoses. What happened that night, with Lindsay, is disgusting and shouldn't have happened. It ruined what could have been a brilliant relationship. I am a monster. I've had some serious problems unfortunately, when I've had a drug addiction and took steroids." A spokesman for Wiltshire Police said, "This case has been referred to our Professional Standards Department and a review is currently ongoing to determine what happened in this case and why a disclosure was not made. Due to this investigation, it would be inappropriate to comment further."